Hi, and welcome to the unboxing video for the Moonboard. This Moonboard is a joint venture between Todd Landman, Christopher Gould, and myself, and it came out of a series of talks that the three of us were having. Todd had originally approached me about some physical pieces for his Virtues and Solids reading system that appears in his epistemology book. And Chris and I had been talking about pendulum boards for a project that we were working on, and Chris had a wonderful idea of a board with a sunken surface where you could put different inserts in and then have multiple reading systems. So all of that stuff kind of came together, and the Moonboard was born out of that. Now, one thing you'll see here is the Moonboard is a pretty substantial piece. It is it's an entire wood construction, and it comes in a slipcase. Now, this slipcase is designed and built by my wife, Rebecca. It is made of a black duck material, which is a type of finely woven canvas. Has a nice brocade flap on it, cover over it. This changes a little bit depending on what's in stock, but it will always be a brocade. There's also a little pewter button there, which also does vary by what we have in stock. The fixture is a piece of Velcro for ease of opening, and the case is also lined. Now, this case will protect your board from some minor scratches, dust, dirt, and it's a handy carrying case as well. What you don't want to do is leave your board in a hot car, in direct sunlight, in humid conditions, same as you would for any other wood product. So now inside the board itself, and there's a book. The pieces that you have in there are, you get the book, you get the Moonboard itself, of course, you get a book, certificate of authenticity, and another little bag which has some bits and bobs in it. Now, this bag is also a custom drawstring bag made by my wife Rebecca, and inside it contains the platonic solids, which are used in a couple of the systems, as well as a pendulum, key pendulum for your pendulum board. You get a 50-page book. This is the Moonboard book, and it has a sample reading in the beginning. It details the use of the pendulum board and how to do all of that with the pendulums. It also has a section on Todd's Virtues and Solids, which details all of the thinking behind that, as well as an explanation of all the platonic solids and the reading system there. And finally, there is a section on Macrocosm, and this is a standalone product that Todd has and still does have, which features a book and the graphics. Macrocosm is in its entirety here, except for the section in the book, in Todd's book, which has contributions from other readers. But everything you need to know is in the book here, and that comes with the set. The other thing that comes is a signed certificate of authenticity. We're not making a lot of these. There are several reasons. One, they are very time intensive to make. All of this has to be built up from scratch on the bare board, and everything has to be, the inserts has to be created, and then everything has to be shellacked and sealed and all. So we don't make a lot of them. The second thing is we like them to be somewhat exclusive. This way you are getting something that not every reader on your block is going to have, and so it gives you something that's going to be unique. The third reason is that you get 3 boards in one, and that keeps the price up a little bit, because you're essentially getting 3 systems. So the board itself, let's look at the board itself. The board itself, again, it's heavy wood. We have feet on the bottom, which allows you to place it on any surface without fear of scratching. You see there are two shallow compartments here that are covered in felt. Those are for keeping your reading tools, the platonic solids and the pendulum key. And those are, you could keep them there while you're waiting to use the board. The board itself has a sunken surface, as we were talking about a minute ago. There are two finger holes where you kind of put your finger in there and pull out the insert. We'll come back to the insert in a minute, though the insert is a piece of heavy mat board which has the graphics fixed on there, and then it is shellacked and it's sealed. The basic board is a pendulum board, standard yes-no pendulum board, up and down for yes, right and left for no, and we put some other graphics on there having to do with alchemy and Hand of Glory and a few things, kind of give you that atmosphere. This board again is all hand-aged, and it again is shellacked and sealed. The key, the pendulum, is an antique key, an aged key, with a bit of hemp rope, and that is that. The second part of the board is Todd's Virtues and Solids, and this is from his epistemology book. Basically, it uses the platonic solids, which Plato felt that these were the 5 perfect shapes, and there they are right there. You know them probably as gaming dice from Dungeons and Dragons or what have you. They've kind of co-opted that because they are great shapes, and you can do a lot of different things with them. We were originally thinking of just using some stone pieces. They have stone and metal ones without numbers. However, in Todd's Virtues and Solids, the numbers give weight to the readings. So the higher the number, the more important it is in relation to some of the other solids that you see. So we decided to leave them as gaming dice at this point, and so that's what you're provided with. Now there are 2 other dice that feature kind of to give you the temperature of the reading. They are dice that are percentage dice, and that's detailed in the book. So when you look at this, each one of these shapes is related to one of the elements. So you have earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And those are also relatable to the virtues of Aristotle. So you'll have, for example, if you look here, the fire, which is the tetrahedron, fire is related to craft, which the Greek word for that is techne. And every one of these has that same correlation. So each one will have the shape, and it will tell you the geometric shape. It will tell you what virtue it is associated with. For example, the square is knowledge. The dodecahedron is philosophical wisdom. The water, or the icosahedron, that's a mouthful, is practical wisdom, and air is intuitive reason. So all of those relate to those particular virtues and those particular elements. And then based on the numbers, it will give you a weighted reading among those different elements and all. So, and that again is all detailed. I'm not going to go into that in an unboxing video, but that's all detailed in the book. Now the third graphic is Todd's Macrocosm. Now this is like, you can look at it like a giant single tarot card. This is a painting that was commissioned by Todd for this product, this reading system, and it is, the more you look at it, the more you see. And it has several quadrants. This side is the male active side, and this is the female passive side. if you look and you start down at the bottom and you kind of circle up clockwise, you get different phases of an average person's life. You start here in the forest with some of the survival and basic needs down here. The meadow relates to family and home, and then you get up to the sea where you're talking about travel and adventure, and then over to the mountain where you have spiritual ideas, and you'll see some iconic religious symbols and some other things. This is where all the heavy thinking is being done, and all the spirituality and all that. There's if you look on the edges, you'll see some standard tarot icons. There are the cups, there are the swords, there are the rods, staffs, or the discs or coins, depending on what kind of tarot you're looking at. But all of that relates again. And the way you read this is you can have a conversation about these different areas with your sitter, if you'd like. You could simply have them toss out the solids, and then based on where they land and the weight of them on the number, it will tell you how you want to read that. Again, I'm not going to go into the whole reading system that's in the book, but that is one way to do it. The other way is to simply have your sitter pick a solid in order, or whatever order they feel, and place it on the board. And where they place it, again, where they place it can tell you something about what they're thinking, and the weight also will add some importance to it. So you can go that route as well, in addition to maybe just simply tossing them out. So, like chess, this is a relatively easy system to learn, but it is very, very comprehensive. You can start with pendulum board, progress up through the virtues, and end up with the macrocosm. Excuse me. You can do these singly. You can do them in any order. You can have a very quick reading or a very quick pendulum session, or you can have a full comprehensive reading starting from start to finish, and spend an hour or more, or however long you want, with your sitter. So this is a very versatile board. But that gives you a basic idea of what the Moonboard entails, and some of the pieces that you get with it. You do get everything that I've shown you here. It all comes with it: the insert, the board itself, the platonic solids, the key pendulum, the certificate, and the 50-page book. And all of that in the slipcase. And that is the Moonboard. You can find out more about it on the Alchemy Moon website, alchemymoon.com. You can also go to the Moon Forum or the cafe, or wherever you tend to get your information, and private message us there. Both Chris, Todd, and myself are all present there. Hope this answered some questions. That is the Moonboard, and thank you.